Welcome guys. In this video, I'm going to deal with Docker commands on commit, save, copy, load, and tag. You can see Docker, we have an option uh, to commit and save the container. So for example, I have a CentOS image has been downloaded. Now I'm open to a container and just going to launch and install a MariaDB database, and I'm going to save the container. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to install a Docker container with MariaDB database. So I'm going to label it, name the container as testdb. So let me install the database server now. So it's pulling from the CentOS repositories. We can see MariaDB database is been getting downloaded and installed. So using MariaDB 5.5 version. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit and save the MariaDB. So the name of the container ID is docker ps-a. So this is the container ID which I'm going to save it, or I'm going to tag it as CentOS MariaDB. So you can see Docker is trying to add a new image. It's called CentOS MariaDB. So now you can see the size as increased to 453 MB. So I've added MariaDB on the Docker image. The image ID is B12F800252FC. Okay, so we have successfully installed MariaDB now. So let's run it now. Okay, so let's run it. But before getting into that, we already seen the couple of commands on the Docker. Basically, when we kick off any container, we need to basically start and stop them. So we have to, anyway, any container which is launched, right, we have to inspect. We have various commands like what do you call, so docker ps-a ps-a. So let's start the MariaDB first. Okay, we have various options like docker logs. If we have any logs in the container, and which will tell us what has happened inside the container, we can pull that. And docker stop, start, kill the container, we can give kill hyphen container. So docker has been killed. You can see the docker container has been killed, excited. Okay, so one, let's start the docker container now once again. So docker top MariaDB. So this will tell on the container which process is currently utilizing the I memory into the container. So Docker top will tell you the process ID which is consuming the which one is consuming the highest process in order. So, and one good feature about the Docker container, we have the copy command. say I have an file, I have an test file, which I take an OS file, anything that I need to copy from my system to a container. Yes, it is possible. So let's do that. So we can copy any files. So let's put some other files. Say copy anaconda.cfg. Yep. So we have copied it. So now we can try to execute it, and we can see we have posted to, we have the two files, recent files, which has been copied from the system into the Docker container. Okay, so in this way we can find out, we can copy any local volumes directly, local data directly into the container. Okay, so now Docker also has a okay, one more option is that is attach. Okay, so normally it's basically attach is a command. It's basically it's used to if you have a container file, you have a container and you want to load or attach it directly to the Docker, you can use this command. But the problem with it is if the image size is quite huge, for example, if you have a Docker size, file size is more than 1 GB or 2 GB, it's very difficult to attach. So I strongly wouldn't recommend to use Docker attach command. And other thing is that is like we can also option to post images to Docker containers. So post are basically we have a post, a push. If you have a Docker IO or Docker registry on your local or private or public, you can use this option to push. And for that, we need to register to Docker Hub. So we are going to skip this thing. The reason is that is I'm not yet registered to Docker Hub, and I don't even created any Docker private repository on my end. So let's directly go to few other commands which will be helping us in a lot. So we have one more thing called okay, let's option called export, import, and save and load them. This is a very important one. So what happened is what I'm going to demo you is that is just going to install a new web server, and what I'm going to do is that is I'm going to export it in a tar format, and I'm going to add it to my Docker images. Later, I can distribute or I can try to upload it on my central repository so developers can utilize these images. I'll pause this video for a while. It just take some time to download the download the EPL repository. So you can see that I can download it successfully the EPL repository, and the Nigix been installed. So you can see the size of the Nigix package is almost 18 MB, but installation size is 55 MB. Okay, so it's still doing that. Right, now Nigix has been successfully installed. Now what I'm going to do is that is I'm going to export this as a tar file. So what I'm doing is that is like currently we have Docker, which has been installed as a web test. That container I'm exporting as a tar file. Now what I'm going to do is that is I am going to load the image. You can also use export. We can also even use save also. This is also better best option. So let's try to do this option as well for demo purpose. Or if you want, I can also I can also import it directly. Let's first do one bar at a time. So let's import it. It's trying to importing the container into our Docker images. So this is almost 400 MB. So Docker images, you can see the size. Okay, sorry, it's three. Oh yeah, 364 MB in size. So using this, I can spin up a new Docker instance, and I can try to kick off the containers quickly. Now, last option, last but not the least. So it's a tag option. Tag is basically creating an label towards it. So let's pull do that option as well. So what I'm doing, I'm going to versioning it. So if I want to version the container, so for example, I've installed a vi editor on into a container. I want to label them. I can do this as well. So Docker images, I can see the versioning of that. So I hope you understood these commands, and let's go to the next video. We will be dealing on Docker volume. Thank you all.